Welcome students. So hope you got an idea regarding what is a data warehouse, what's a data cube, and the different OLAP operations and concept hierarchy. So now we'll actually deal with what is actually a data warehouse architecture. So before going to the data warehouse architecture, we should actually learn regarding the design of the warehouse and how can we design the process, that is the design process of warehousing, and the finally a multi-tiered architecture. Okay, so these three are the things which we need to touch upon this particular session. Okay, so for designing a data warehouse, we should actually keep into mind a business analysis. Why an institution or organization want a data warehouse? It is to improvise their profit, or to improve their profit margin by efficient decision making. That's the sole reason why even institutions or any organizations or any any uh, any firms, they are actually going for data warehousing, because by understanding the patterns, or by understanding the previous understanding the analysis from the past data, they'll be able to do something better, because they'll be following a routine thing, and by routine thing won't actually make them what to tell make them routine work won't actually improvise their profit. So what they will be doing is they need to take some efficient decision making so that their business should improve. So efficient decision making can be done only based on the analysis of the past data. That is what all things need to be improved, where and all we need to focus upon, where and all we need to improve upon, so that the profit will be increased. So now we'll deal with the four views regarding the design of the data warehouse. First one is a top-down view. Second one is the data source view. Third one is the data warehouse view, and the fourth one is a business query view. So in this particular views, that is in this particular four views are very important for design of a data warehouse. First one is a top-down view. It allows a selection of necessary or relevant information necessary for the data warehouse. Second one is the data source view. It exposes the data information being captured, stored, and managed by operational systems. Third one is the data warehouse view. It consists of the fact tables and the dimensions. Fourth one is the business query view. That is, it sees the perspective of data in the data warehouse. That is in the perspective of the end user perspective. See here, for designing a particular data warehouse, we should actually think in four different perspectives. That is, the first one is a top view. Top down view means, see, you have an analysis problem to solve based on the data which is stored in the data warehouse. So in the top down view, it selects only the significant or the relevant information that is necessary for solving that particular problem or that particular issue. You have a particular real life problem is there. Suppose for example, okay, if you are taking into consideration any firm wanted to improve the particular profit, maybe any shopping malls or something like that. Okay, past so many times their profit is, they have profit, but it is going in something like a in a linear way. It's not showing any improvement. So definitely they will do some analysis, and based on the efficient decision making, they want to increase their profit. So for the past maybe 10-year data, the past 5-year data, they will be taking it, and also we need only that relevant information for building a data warehouse. Next is the data source view. Data source view means it will actually try to understand, or it will try to analyze the information that has been captured, stored, and also managed by the operation system. You have so many day-to-day data, and also it comes from different types of heterogeneous sources. So all these information captured and stored will be managed. So that is the data source view. Next one is the data warehouse view. Data warehouse view means, see, I have already told that the basic, how can we represent a data is in terms of data cube. So in order to represent the data in terms of data cube, we require the fact table and also the dimension table. So in data warehouse view, if you take into consideration, you can find only the fact tables and the dimensions. Then the business query view. Business query view means who all is actually involved in that particular business analysis process, that is in the view from the end user or the view from that particular organization head. Okay, so that particular person will be able to see the different perspectives of data in the data warehouse. So these are the four important views. First one is the top down view, second one is the data source view, third one is the data warehouse view, and the fourth one is the business query view. So last slide we have seen regarding the different views of data warehouse. Now we'll deal with the design process of data warehouse. See, in design process, what we are doing is we have two different important approaches, that is top-down approach or bottom-up approach. Top-down approach starts with the overall design and then planning. Okay. So that is if you have the entire problem statement, you have the entire design, and then we will start building that particular data warehouse. So that is the top-down approach. Bottom-up approach means it will start with small things and then it will keep on building that, and finally you will actually end up in a building a final data warehouse. So first one is a matured, much more matured way of doing that, and the second one is a rapid one. So this type of strategies are used based on the application, that is based on the problem which we needs to be solved. So from a software engineering perspective, you can actually put it something like a waterfall model and also a spiral model. Waterfall model is a structure and systematic analysis. Spiral model is the rapid generation of, it's like you have the functionality, with the functionalities you will actually build a prototype, and again when requirements come, again you will build it, and finally in the final state you will actually keep on incorporating all the requirements to get a full-fledged system. So a typical data warehouse design process, four important design processes are there, four important steps. First one is choose a business process to model. Business process means it can be either maybe customer, order, invoices, or any process or any concepts you want to model, business process. So that you need to choose. Second one is choose the grain, that is the atomic level of data. See, grain means granularity of the data, up till which level of abstraction we want to keep that particular data. That is a concept hierarchy. That is, in that concept hierarchy, which level of abstraction we are interested into digging or maybe doing different operations, which is the level, that is the level of abstraction of the data of the business process, that we need to select. Next is choose the dimensions that will apply to each fact table record, and also choose the measure that needs to be applied. So whenever we design a data warehouse, what we have to do is you have to choose a business process. Second one, you have to fix the level of the granularity of the data, that's the level of abstraction of the data. For third one is choosing the particular dimensions for the fact table, and also fourth one is choosing the right measures. And here one more thing is like we need to be very cautious regarding deciding all these things. If you simply design anything, that won't be a very good design. You need to understand the domain knowledge also. The domain knowledge is very important for analyzing this particular what all are the business processes that need to model. That needs to be that should be the very important one, and also significant ones. So based on that we will actually create the dimensions. So we need to be very important, or we need to be very cautious to choose the dimension that should be significant to the business process that will be applied, and also the measures. So these are the important steps for design process of the data warehouse. Next one is the data warehouse, the multi-tiered architecture. Here you have different tiers. First one is you have the different data sources here. That is other heterogeneous data sources. You have the operational databases as well as the different other heterogeneous sources. I have already told you that is ETL, that is extract, transform, and load. You will do this data pre-processing technique, that is ETL, and also finally you will be refreshing the data. So that will be there, and finally the data will be loaded into data warehouse. Data warehouse will be having a metadata also. Metadata means the data about data. That is the data about data warehouse will be stored in the metadata, and that will be used for monitoring and also other integration purposes. And data marts also will be there. It is actually something like a specified computational, no, not computational, but specified units that will have their own functionalities. Suppose if university is actually a data warehouse, then departments can be told as a data mart. It is actually a separate entity that will actually, it is actually linked to the data warehouse, but it will have its own purposes. Each department will have its own purposes. And next is the OLAP operation. So OLAP server. So first tier will be the data sources tier, second tier is the data storage tier, and the third tier is the OLAP engine. OLAP engine is the OLAP operations or the analysis operations that we are doing, that is with that particular servers. OLAP server, that is the different cubes will be there, and finally after analysis you will do this, you will visualize, you will analyze, you query and report, generate reports, and also perform the data mining operations. So this is the front end tools. So you can see that data warehouse is a multi-tiered architecture where the data sources will be there, and also after performing the ETL, extract, transform and load, the data will be loaded into the data warehouse. In data warehouse itself, in this data storage, you have different specialized components, that is the data marts, and also the metadata is also present, and in the OLAP engine, OLAP server is there. And also finally after doing the OLAP operations, that result will be given for analysis, querying, reports, and also for performing the data mining operations. So these are about the multi-tiered architecture. So these are the things which we need to discuss, the key terms, that is enterprise data warehouse. That is 3 data warehouse models are there. Enterprise data warehouse, data mart, virtual warehouse. In enterprise warehouse, it collects all the information about the subject spanning the entire organization. That is something like an enterprise systems. If you take into consideration any MNC, any companies, so that that particular company will have the entire warehouse. That is the enterprise warehouse, collecting all the information about the subjects, the entire organization. And second one is the data mart. Data mart is actually a subset of corporate wide data that is confined to specified group of users. It is something like a marketing data mart, then marketing, then retail, and also sales data mart will be there, maybe sales. Based on the specific group of users, actually we have for the particular selected groups, we have different data marts. And next is a virtual day warehouse. Virtual warehouse is actually a set of views. We can consider different views, that is stored procedures, and also we can create views based on that. So set of views are the operational databases. So here some of the summary views can be seen in this one. So this is a recommended approach for the data warehouse development. First you have to define a high level corporate data model. Then you have different data marts here. So data marts are actually distributed. So distributed data marts, and here from here itself, from the high level corporate data model, you have a enterprise data warehouse, and from there you have a multi-tier data warehouse. So this multi-tier data warehouse will have connections with the distributed data marts also. Now the data warehouse backend tools and entities. I have told regarding the ETL operation. So here again that operation is actually coming. So ETL is data extraction, data loading, and also transformation. So data extraction. So what is actually happening in the data extraction is get data from the multiple heterogeneous and external sources, clean the data, that is detect the errors in the data, missing values. You try to rectify them or you try to clean the errors. So in data cleaning, we have actually seen so many techniques for the data pre-processing, that is for data cleaning. Then finally data transformation will be there. So convert the data from the the concerned that particular heterogeneous data sources into a standardized or a normalized form. That is the data transformation. Then finally, after performing, data has been extracted from the sources, after cleaning the data, after transforming the data, finally once the data is ready, that will be loaded into the data warehouse. So what is actually happening is sort, summarize, consolidate, compute views, check integrity, and also build indices and partitions while we load the data into the data warehouse. You cannot simply load the data into data warehouse. You need to actually, there is actually a structure or how the data needs to be loaded into the data warehouse that you need to do. So basically data warehouse will provide you the summarized view of the past data, the archived historical data. So finally, whenever updates come from the different data warehouses or different data sources, you need to refresh that. So that is about refresh. So this is about so that comes in the data warehouse backend tool. So ETL, extract, transform, and load. Metadata. Metadata I've already told. Metadata is actually data about data. So here, when we consider the metadata in case of data warehouse, it is the data about the data warehouse. So here metadata, here the purpose of the metadata is the data defining the warehouse objects. So what can be the warehouse objects? Data warehouse, what all data can be the warehouse objects? It stores, the metadata stores the description of the structure of the data warehouse. That is, for the particular corresponding data warehouse, what is the schema, what are the views constructed, what are the dimensions there, what are the concept hierarchies created, what are the derived data definition, data mart locations, contents, everything will be stored in there. That is something like a quick referencing thing, that is a metadata. By analyzing the metadata, we will be able to understand the structure of a data warehouse. Next is operational metadata. Operational metadata is actually the history of the migrated data, the transformation path, the active, archived or purged data. That is archived data, historical data, or purged data, that is combined data. So these things, the concurrency, that is the concurrency of the data. Oh, sorry, the type of the data, that is what type of data is there. Either the data we are using it, it's an active one, or it's currently being used, it's archived, or it's deleted or purged data. Okay, and then finally the monitoring information, the warehouse statistics, error reports, audit trails, everything will be there in the data metadata repository. So, and also which algorithms are used for summarizing that particular data warehouse, what mapping is actually used from operational environment to the data warehouse, the data related to the system performance is business data. So these data, these are actually the data, the warehouse objects, description and the structure of the data warehouse, the operational metadata, the algorithms used for summarization, the mapping from operational environment to the data warehouse, and also the data related to system performance and also the business data. So those data will be stored in the metadata repository. Okay, so till now we were actually dealing with the multi-tied architecture of the data warehouse and also the different key terms involved in that. That is a metadata repository, the data marts, enterprise data warehouse. So many terms we have seen. Now we will see the OLAP server architectures. I have told you that we have so many, the operations are there. That is the OLAP operations are there, relational or OLAP. We have different OLAP operations are there. That is the drill down, drill up, roll down. Then slice or dice, pivot or rotate. So many operations are there. Now we will actually, we have different server architectures for this particular OLAP. So different OLAP server architectures. So three important OLAP server architectures are there. First one is a relational OLAP. Relational OLAP is you are using the relational or extended relational DBMS to store and manage the warehouse data. It's simply the RDBMS. That is, we have, even though we have the RDBMS thing, it's something like an extended relational database to store the data warehouse data, and also OLAP middleware will be there, and optimization, scalability, so many things will be there. relational OLAP server architecture. The next one is a multi-dimensional OLAP, that is MOLAP. Sparse, this is actually here the data is actually based on the sparse array base. So sparse array based multi-dimensional storage engine. So here fast indexing, we can actually, since the data is sparse array based, you will be able to retrieve the summarized data in a much faster pace. That is, fast indexing is there. And in relational OLAP, the advantage is greater scalability, and in the multi-dimensional OLAP we have this fast indexing. The third one is a hybrid OLAP, that is HOLAP or flexibility. So that is about the flexibility. So in hybrid OLAP we will try to take into consideration both the relational OLAP and also the multi-dimensional OLAP. So that is about the example of the hybrid OLAP server is Microsoft SQL Server, and also specialized SQL servers are there to run this data warehouse schemas and all. That is example Redbricks and all, it's there. Okay, so that's all about the data warehouse architecture which we have actually seen. Hope you have understood this one. Thank you.